Hello, everybody. Welcome to Metaverse Summit Roadshow. So today we have a great pleasure to have Adriana as our speaker. So maybe you already watched our previous videos. We are doing this series of interview with a Metaverse expert. So they're either from gaming, AR, VR, or as Adriana from digital fashion and from, of course, Web3 space. And they will be talk about their vision and what they are building in terms of the metaverse. So today, of course, our main topic will be around digital fashion, digital identity, creator economy, and so far and so on. So yeah, welcome, Adriana. Could you tell us who you are? How did you enter into the space? And what is the fabricant today?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you and to your community. So I'm Adriana. I'm one of the co-founders of the Fabricant. The Fabricant is a digital fashion house, and we are creating the wardrobe of the metaverse in a decentralized way. How I got to this space? So my background is in marketing and digital transformation in the physical world, in physical clothes and retail. And I met Carrie and Amber, my co-founders, whereby we have kind of the same passion with different backgrounds. So Amber is a fashion designer, graduated in a fashion school, but with a full digital portfolio. And Carrie comes from the visual effects, and he's more of a creative technologist. And we launched the Fabricant in 2018 in Amsterdam.
Nice. So as I understood, the Fabricant in the beginning was kind of like a digital fashion house, but with the development, you are also establishing some maybe user-generated tools. You are building kind of like a decentralized fashion house. Can you tell us more about why did you do this shift and then what changed during the process?
Yeah, very good. So I would say that the vision has always been the same since 2018. We set ourselves the challenge to create and lead this new sector of digital-only clothing, and our passion to do it was to really reinvent the fashion industry, taking out of the issues that exist in the physical world, like sustainability issues, like equality issues, non-diversity. And we saw this opportunity to reinvent in the digital space and to make it more sustainable, to make it more inclusive, to make it more equitable, and also more creative. So we first set our label, and that was very much like our journey in the beginning. And we started working as an agency, supporting brands to get into this space. And the more we progressed, the more we saw that we could make and create a much bigger impact. If we, instead of hiring designers ourselves and creating more and more digital labels, if we really could create tools for anybody to become a fashion designer, and therefore creating the first true decentralized fashion house. And that is very much the journey that we started implementing since, I would say, 2020, where we start developing the tools. And really this year we launched our platform, which is the Fabricant Studio, where anybody with no fashion education can actually create their own garments, mint them, and be able to trade and wear them in the metaverse. And in this way, what we believe is that the metaverse is growing exponentially. We all are going to have some form of digital identity. And right now there are more naked avatars than clothes out there. So we're going to make sure that we provide the clothes in a decentralized model.
That's fantastic. And also, like what you said, is part of the change in terms of people's perception of digital fashion, right? Because let's say, okay, in Web 1 or Web 2 era, people can see the photo online, like kind of the e-commerce website are part of the digital fashion. I don't know if you agree with this. Mm-hmm. Feel free to add comments. And now people actually have more freedom to create and to, their virtual avatar. And of course, like I remember when I was little, I was playing this digital fashion game. So to decorate, like a very simple avatar, this is like a very basic game. So nowadays we have more option. We have this metaverses, we have the sandbox, the Decentraland. People do have this need to express themselves. So could you tell us in a bigger sense, in a bigger picture, like what did you see as changes, because you've been in the industry so long, then what do you think is going to play out in the future as well?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So I think there are a few macro trends for sure that we experience accelerating in the last couple of years. One is what again has been, everybody has been talking about it a lot, but it's really materializes the creators economy, right? I call it the post-consumerism economy, where I'm very diligent not to use the word consumers anymore every time that I talk, because I believe that consumers is the Web 2 model, where brands or entities are pushing information to you and you're just digesting and consuming. And the model that Web 3 allows is that nobody needs to be sitting and just consuming. You can play an active role. You can actually create and monetize your craft, your opinion in the web space, right? And my best example is right now, if I take a picture of a restaurant and I tag the restaurant, I'm advertising a restaurant, I'm a content creator, but actually Instagram is the one making money. While in Web 3.0, if I take a picture of a restaurant and I say I created, you can use that, Mr. Instagram, but you need to pay my royalties. You need to acknowledge me as the creator of this content, as the promoter of the restaurant, right? So I think that is a completely shift in the power landscape, and one that the new generations actually not only are embracing it, they're already acting upon, right? The whole gig economy, the whole, I would say, again, the way that it started with the millennials, but even more right now with Gen Z, everybody wants to really try to monetize their own passions. And you see this as a trend that is enabled by technology right now. I would say the other big change that started many years ago already with the gaming space, where, you know, gamers that have avatar and have multiplayer environments, that kind of social networks were already happening, where people were meeting for the game and curating their avatar. But I think that the gaming industry didn't pay so much attention to it until Fortnite stopped making a lot of money with it. And now it's accelerating because those spaces are becoming open spaces where, again, you can actually own your clothes, like where there's Decentraland, where there's Sandbox, or crypto-based games where your assets really mean true ownership and the ability to trade and monetize that. So I think that is, again, another trend that is just accelerating, whereby all of us are going to have very soon a 3D web presence, at least one avatar that we're going to be dressing, that we're going to be meeting our friends, whether to play games or just in social contexts, and that is going to accelerate in the coming, certainly in the coming year. And the third one, I would say, is one that, again, has been there for a while, but I think it will get new dimension, is the whole layered reality, as I call it. You know, we started with AR and we all got very familiar with Snap filters, with Instagram filters, you know, making funny faces, getting us older or younger, depending on what you use, changing our gender. And it was like a fun thing. It got its peaks, ups and lows, but it has been there for a long time, but it's still confined to your phone and to a certain application. And I think what we will see much more is that augmented layer to reality is going to live beyond the phone. You're going to be able to actually start generating more holographic experiences, more truly augmented experience. And of course, the glasses, which are the big promise, are also going to enable a new layer of reality to be put on your physicality, which will enable more creativity and interaction in new ways. All this coming together, enabled by blockchain, which for us is just technology that enables the creator to be acknowledged and new business models to develop, are revolutionizing the industry, are revolutionizing the way we have been acting in media. You know, if anything, the media landscape is going to flip tremendously. And with all of that, all the business that hang on it are going to experience, quite, I would say, new opportunities, because I like to think about opportunities rather than risks.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree that like digital fashion is not only about, you know, the clothing, and it's all about creating, it's all about self identity as well. And as you mentioned, like blockchain is really enabling a lot of new possibility in terms of usage and also in terms of business model. And I also saw a lot of news around the fabricant, you know, shaking hands with a lot of brands and a lot of gaming platforms, and with a lot of, let's say, metaverses like the Sandbox, right? So could you tell us more about what kind of collaboration did you do, and what's your current business focus, and what is actually the business model that is empowered by either, a new technology or including, like blockchain?
Yeah, very good. So if we go back to the building blocks of this decentralized digital fashion house, is we want everybody to be able to create digital fashion, I would say, to co-create digital fashion, right? So there is a tool in the heart of our experience that is the co-creation tool, where me, who is not a fashion designer, can actually create fashion items and mint them together with other designers. The other thing that we're enabling is the ability to trade. So when I own something, I'm able to sell it, and I'm able to create my own collections, right? And to cater for my own community of buyers. And then the third piece, which we're enabling, is the ability to wear. And that ability to wear, it is really about, in the stage that we are, in the stage that the industry is one-to-one relationships with, I would say, partners where we believe the wearing will add value into their experience, right? So an example is Sandbox. We love the team, we love the project. They were the first one that we said, we really want to make the translation of our very high definition garments into the voxel art of Sandbox. For two reasons. One, because we believe in the vision. Second, because for us, this was the most difficult, I would say, design challenge, because we design everything super high definition, super high fashion. And for our designers to accept a pixelated version, is our internal challenge, right? So I said, okay, if we go and accept that, then anything in between is going to be fine. And also from a technology point of view, how it translates our again, high quality into pixelated. So that is certainly one of our launch partners. The other partnership that we have right now is with Darewise, with the team that is launching Life and Beyond, which is a beautiful blockchain-enabled game. They have been developing the game for a while right now. They have a use base that is an alpha use base. And it's the first game that will enable the players to create their own garments. And that is super cool. And we're doing it together because we love their vision, we love the aesthetics of the game, and the fact that they are in chain is also very much aligned with our philosophy of a decentralized kind of gameplay. The other partner that is also kind of similar to Darewise, and we have a strong collaboration, is Star Atlas, which is also a game being made as we speak. But we love the philosophy, we love the philosophy of decentralization, of allowing the players to create the ecosystem and to create the play, and also the intention to define identities for the players. So that really fits our philosophy. Next to that, Epic Games is one of our partners as well, which started as we were part of the Mega Grant program, and very much with the intention to dress the metaverse, dress the metahumans, but also create real-time experience with digital fashion. And we are using in the whole back end of our platform, as well as at the end of what we call every season, there is a real-time fashion show that is built with some of the creations, and this is done in a Real Engine right now. So these are right now our current partners. The intention is to make sure, oh yeah, I forgot one. Sorry, Decentraland is also one. The intention right now is to make sure that we automate the pipelines for these different experiences and start growing partnerships in the course of the next year or so.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And also this kind of leads me to the next question, because you mentioned the choice between a pixelized digital fashion or a photorealistic one, like you really looking at the picture and you think it's kind of like a photo of a real clothes. That's how photorealistic it is, right? As you made the choice of making photorealistic version and also collaborated with Unreal, could you maybe lead us maybe to the geeky part? How did you build the technical infrastructure for the fabricant? How did it evolve? And then interoperability is always like a very topic in Metaverse, right? Like,
yeah, correct.
To put one thing everywhere. And when we achieve that, maybe that's the final real ideal stage of Metaverse. For now, we can't do that, maybe maximize that yet. So what's your vision on interoperability. And do you think the current state of art already allow interoperability of like photorealistic objects, people, and
Yeah, very good. So like our pipeline started as a digital fashion pipeline with visual effects, and we actually brought it into gaming as well as a technology stacks, right? What we are doing when we're, to your question on interoperability, is really important. I would say it's more like, let's take the jargon out, is customer choice is important, right? So I believe that I will have my personal identity in different metaverse, depending on my social networks and even my mood. So I might be in a sandbox playing a game because I'm in a kind of entertainment space in my life, but I might be meeting in a very in a VR space in a business context. Let's put it this way, with a high definition, where maybe I'm presenting myself very close to my real life self, right? I will have different wardrobes for those situations. I'll have different avatars. They are all going to be in my closet. And depending on my need to express my identity, I'm probably going to have more clothes of a certain type than others, right? Maybe for business, I'm like, okay, I just have one type. I'm going to do the Steve Jobs. I have like one black outfit and that's enough. But my social life, I'm going to go crazy. And I'm going to be actually a guy instead of a girl in my social life. I don't know. So we need to allow the decision on the hands of the customer, of the person, right? And allow everybody to build their wardrobes as they want. How we're doing it right now is we're doing it in manual translation. So literally with Sandbox, which is a good example, we did a high definition, and then the voxel artist from the Sandbox team translated it one-on-one, right? Now, of course, this is not scalable, but it's the first step. If you do the first step manually, then you can start automating it. So right now, we're starting to automate it so that we will allow for every creation to, with a press of a button, to actually create what we call the digital twin, so the Sandbox twin. So in our platform, you're always going to have the high quality, but we want to allow everybody to say, and I want these and these and these versions, right? And with a press of a button, those versions would also be minted separately. The same with the Centraland. Actually, the team in the Centraland, we were talking to them 2 days ago, and they said, no, we are actually automating the pipeline. So we're going to be able to start testing it in January, which is super cool, because it will allow us, if it works, it will allow us with, again, a press of a button, a translation, and a creation of a digital twin, which will then live in my wardrobe.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Let's keep in touch for the next update. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, cool.
Because we mentioned some retail brands, right? So recently there are so many news around retail. For example, Nike, Adidas trying to get into the metaverse space. They have very different approach. And some other luxury brands here in Paris also are looking into it. Everybody is kind of FOMOing as well. So for them, what maybe they're our audience. So what do you think they should do to establish a real strategy in terms of metaverse? Because sometimes maybe it's just the marketing hype. Sign with the apes, they want to sign with influencers, but how can they build a long-term digital fashion strategy in collaboration kind of with their physical real fashion?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that it starts with a mindset shift. The mindset shift is right now all the fashion houses are very much obsessed about the physical garment and the physical model, right? What they need to understand is that there will be another model which will work in parallel, but also in conjunction with the physical one, with the digital model. You don't need to replicate your physical in the digital space. If anything, the digital space is free of gravity, free of any constraints, free of supply chains. You can create anything you want, right? So it starts with the mindset shift of there is a new model to be created, and this new model might be your most valuable model very soon, right? So we actually strongly believe, and since 2018 we have been saying that there will be a moment that we are going to have, our wardrobe is going to be augmented, and our physical wardrobe is going to be very small, very comfortable, thermal controlled, because our fashion is going to be augmented and it's going to be digital and you can change 100 times a day, right? We're building a business for that. How many years away we are, we don't know. Maybe it is 5, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20, maybe it's 50. But that will happen, it's inevitable. That is like all the trends and technology suggest that that's going to be the new reality. Just like it happened with music, just like it happened with books. A lot of your kind of identifiers start to be digitalized and live their own lives, and you start giving more value to their digital existence than to the physical existence. First mindset shift is it's a new business model. It's not a gimmick. Second mindset shift is a post-consumer moment. It is about co-creation, it's about participation, it's about collaboration. And yes, it's about sharing your profits with your community, right? And I think the third one, which comes hand in hand with the second, is it's not about pushing anymore. It is about actually reverting it and empowering people, empowering your fans. And what I love about the whole Web3 movement, and again, blockchain is just technology enabler, but the Web3 movement is all about decentralization in the sense of new division of balances, new division of equity. You know, I'm super passionate about DAOs because I think this is the new model for corporations where you earn, but everybody earns together, where we can truly equally across the globe, not for the only few, where wealth is distributed, where everybody can participate with time, with effort, but with true value creation. So I think these are like, once you got those 3 paradigm shifts and you agree to them, because that's the one thing, they might agree, oh, there's a new business opportunity, but I don't want to share, and I don't want to, you know, give the power to my friends, then I think you're not quite there. But once you have the 3, then I think you need to develop your roadmap and your strategy. And there are different ways to go. I think the Nike way is as valid as the Adidas way, as valid as maybe other ways. You know, the Nike way was very clearly we're going to acquire because we think this is going to happen so fast that we'd rather acquire somebody that's already in this space than try to learn ourselves. And I think it was a very clever movement. The Adidas, very different. They set up, and we know the team quite well, they set up a whole team internally, spent quite a lot of time researching, developing a strategy, and then went into partnerships. Very valid approach. Let's see how it's going to materialize. And I think both companies do understand that it's not a gimmick, that they are they're more skin in the game, they're more committed than other companies that just came, you know, did a drop, earned a few million, and you never heard about them again.
Yeah, that's kind of sad as well. And also, like, when we're talking about different approaches, well, in real life, in the retail industry, there are so many different kinds of brands that positioning themselves in different segments, right? So we also saw some luxury brands that are leveraging kind of the NFT scarcity, let's say, to maybe launch some unique, very expensive luxury NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the luxury industry can play out in the metaverse world? Because you said it's about empowering creators, like normal people, like consumer, like me, and you. But this feels like kind of like a cash cow approach, top down, and then people have to pay for the physical item and the digital item now. So how can luxury industry position themselves in the metaverse in the future? Do you think metaverse is actually empowering more like independent creators, independent brands to maybe disrupt the traditional luxury industry?
100%, 100%. I think there will be many more micro labels with tight communities rather than winner takes it all approach. So I believe that there are so many creators right now that have a much bigger community than some of the brands out there in terms of value of the community, right? That people are willing to actually pay quite a high amount of money for their creations. And, you know, they have been catering for that model better than brands have been. So yes, I believe that there will be, we're taking actually the barriers of becoming a fashion designer out, right? You don't need to invest in stock. You don't need to have factories. You don't need to have retailers. You can go directly to your fans, and you don't need to have millions. You can have a good few thousand, and you're going to make a very decent business. So I think we're going to see much more of that. For the brands itself, again, it is challenging the old model of is only allowed for the few, right? Not to say that scarcity and not to say that luxury won't happen, because it's part of human psychology to want to kind of, I would say, be perceived as, to have status models, right? This is part of human psychology. So I think there will be space for brands that focus on the status, that focus on the only for the few, that still ask for high price. I just think that they need to give a good reason for that, right? And the craftsmanship is still going to be important. Storytelling is going to be fundamental, but the reason that they give needs to be more than just it's a very high value item.
Yeah, we are seeing this different approach playing out in a lot of different industries, right? In gaming, traditional gaming companies, and new blockchain native games, and also in art, NFTs
Right.
are a lot of like independent artists. Yeah, definitely. Digital fashion is playing out in kind of pattern as well. So the fabricant actually positioned itself as on the website only digital, so no physical. So what if, as a as a community member of the fabricant, I also want a pair of shoes that is exactly like the one I have in the metaverse? And do you think there's a possibility of doing that, and how, and what is the vision of the that?
We are not enabling that. We're absolutely not enabling, but equally, if you are the creator and you want to create a physical copy, there is nothing that we can do to stop you, right? But we are not enabling that. That's not our vision. We believe that there are enough physical clothes right out there in the world. We don't need to add more.
Definitely. So maybe it can be the other way around. Maybe if I have I design kind of like a physical item, physical clothes, I can maybe design also like identical model, virtual model of it in the fabricant. Is that kind of the
we would say also not what we are enabling.
Purely digital, purely virtual.
Yeah, purely digital. Again, it's a very strong philosophy that we don't believe that we need more physical clothes. We believe that we need to express our identity in the digital space with more freedom. And the digital space gives you free to create. So even like the concept of just mimicking a physical garment, like why? You can create a jacket made of fire for the digital space, right? You can have I don't know, dinosaur snake, leather, whatever, right? Why would you just mimic something that is full of limitations? Why not create something that is without any limitations?
That's a great point, because like when we are thinking about the film, the Ready Player One, everybody is like with this extravagant clothing, with this avatar as well. So when you can have something very unique and very close to yourself, to your identity, you agree with, why do you wear like a Zara or
exactly
to the brands, but that is like identical with a lot of people in the world. It's like a globalization is really encouraging people to exactly wear the kind of the same in the whole world. So that's
absolutely. It's like we believe that there is much more power for one-on-ones and than for 1 to 1,000, right? Yeah, why would there are no limitations?
Yeah, it's about self-expression, being yourself, and
yeah,
that's the part of the charm of the metaverse.
Absolutely.
Limited possibilities.
Yeah.
So, talking about the vision of metaverse. So apart from the fabricant, yourself, what do you believe in? Like, do you think in the future people will be wearing VR glasses all the time, or what's your vision of the future of metaverse?
I think it's going to be certainly an augmented reality layer. So where physical and digital are not two separate worlds, but they are merged into one. I actually believe that I'm more excited, let's put it this way, the post glasses. I think glasses is going to be a bridge in between. I'm not super confident that it's going to be a mass adoption, but I think it's going to be an interesting bridge. What I'm most excited is about holographic imagery, and we're going to find a way to get there, right? We found a way to get the internet for everybody through Wi-Fi. I was in the mobile industry back then. We didn't believe in Wi-Fi. Can you believe that? Like, we didn't believe that there will be people investing in putting like small hubs of technology across the entire city. We thought that that was not going to happen, that everything would be provided by the big mobile providers. And here we are, you know, every single city, every single place has invested in Wi-Fi. So I think the same is going to happen when people see the power of augmenting the reality and all the experience that will emerge from that, and how much our life can be more colorful, you know, how much we can put flowers in the middle of the winter. I think it's going to be beautiful. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's exactly one of the points that I want to mention, because a lot of people, when they say metaverse, they are kind of thinking about this dystopian future where everybody is in the virtual world, like not talking with real people. So I personally don't agree with that. I think a real life connection and enabled by the virtual world, virtual identity, virtual avatar possibility, that's kind of like the future of the metaverse. So yeah, we align on the vision, and then it's so exciting to be part of the people who are building something with this vision, right? So fantastic job, Adriana, and all the best luck for the fabricant, and let's keep in touch. Maybe have you also for Metaverse Summit in Paris that is going to happen in 2022. We'll be glad to have you.
Awesome.
Let's do that. Real life party as well.
Okay, hey, thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and yeah, super fun. I think it's a wonderful space. If you, like anybody who's watching it, if you're not into this space, get in right now. It's amazing.
Yes, definitely. And a quick spoiler also, we're organizing an online hackathon for people who are new, who want to create something, maybe like have some advices also from the amazing designers and developers from the fabricant.
Awesome, would love that. Yeah, great.
Thank you so much, Adriana.
Thank you so much.